Hello friends, welcome to the next session of heat treatment of steel. So up till now we have discussed about the transformation products of austenite. Next we have discussed TTT and CCT curve. Now we'll be discussing the different heat treatment processes. In that we'll be discussing annealing, normalizing and hardening processes. And with that the different quenching medias. So coming to heat treatment. So what exactly heat treatment means? It is defined as an operation or combination of operation. So what are these operations and its combination? First one, heating, holding and cooling. So heating an alloy, then holding that same alloy at that temperature and then cooling that alloy or metal from that temperature to the room temperature. So exactly word by word it is defined as an operation or combination of operation of heating, holding, cooling of a metal or alloy in a solid state. So why this we have to perform? To obtain the desirable conditions and different change in the properties. So what are the different steps? First one, heating of the steel up to austenitizing temperature. So what is this temperature? Greater than 727 degrees Celsius or more than that. Next one, holding at that same temperature for some time, that is some period of time. That period may vary according to the type of heat treatment. Next one, then cooling it or quenching we can call in a proper cooling media. Based on the media we'll get what are the different products in the heat treatments. So before that, what are the objectives or purpose of heat treatment? We'll try to understand. First objective is to increase or decrease the hardness, wear and abrasion resistance of steel. Next one, to alter the mechanical, physical or chemical properties of steel. Next one, to reduce or eliminate the internal stresses induced when cold working is performed on any steel or alloy. Next, to modify the grain size of a steel to fine or coarse, which will depend as per our application. And next one is to improve the machinability or corrosion resistance of the steel. So these were the objectives. Now next one, what are the different cooling medias for performing the heat treatments? So first one is 5 to 10% caustic soda or 5 to 20% of brine solution or cold water, warm water, mineral oil, animal oil, vegetable oil or air. So most probably water is preferred when hardening of plain carbon steels or oil is preferred for alloy steels. So this point can be remembered, which may be important. So first type of heat treatment process is annealing. Now what annealing exactly means? It is defined as heating the steel very slowly above critical temperature and holding at that temperature for some time and then cooling it slowly to the room temperature in a closed, or we can call it as in a furnace. That is what I meant to say is in a closed conditions. So what purpose of this heat treatment is? First one, annealing reduces the internal stresses, it reduces the hardness, it improves the machinability, it increases the ductility, it refines the crystalline structure and prepare the steel for other heat treatment processes. Next one is classification of annealing. Now in what parts the annealing is classified? First one, full or conventional annealing. Second one, process or crystallization annealing. Third one, diffusion or homogenizing annealing. Next one, periodized annealing. And third one is subcritical annealing. Now it is shown on this diagram. That is, first one was full annealing, that is heating of austenitic steel to nearby this temperature, that is greater than 800 degrees Celsius. Next one, recrystallization or process annealing just below the critical temperature. Next one, diffusion annealing up to more than 1000 degrees Celsius or partial annealing. So recrystallization and process annealing means heating the steel in the austenitic zone and performing some sort of operation, and based on the cooling rates we will get the different change in the properties. This part we can discuss in detail in next sessions. Next part of heat treatment process is normalizing. So what is normalizing means? It involves heating of steels to about 40 to 50 degrees Celsius above the upper critical temperature and holding at this temperature for some period of time and then cooling it in normal air. So compared to annealing, components are cooled in furnace, whereas in normalizing process the component is cooled in air. So the structure produced by this process is pearlite, that is eutectoid product, or pearlite in a ferrite matrix, that is hypoeutectoid product, or pearlite in a cementite matrix, that is hypereutectoid product. So what is the purpose again? It produces a uniform crystal structure, it refines the grain size, it achieves the required strength and ductility in the steel, it reduces the internal stresses, it improves the structures of welds, it produces a harder and stronger steel than full annealing, then it eliminates the carbide network at the grain boundaries of hypereutectoid steel, and it improves the different engineering properties. So if we compare this part, annealed components with the normalized components, so the steels with annealing will have lower tensile strength and impact strength compared to the normalized components. Then ductility and machinability will be higher compared to this normalized products, whereas hardness and toughness will be less. Next, internal stresses are almost eliminated in annealed components, whereas some of the internal stresses are remained in the annealed components. And last one, microstructure shows the pearlite more almost in accordance with the Fe3C diagram, whereas microstructure shows the pearlite than the annealed components. So thank you for this session. We have discussed just the basic parts related to annealing and normalizing. The detailing of this part we will discuss in next sessions. Thank you.